It's still recording.
It's still recording.
Avraham Avinu recognized God, found God when he was 3 years old. Meaning, at age 3, he realized that it can't be the sun, it can't be the moon, it can't be the mountains, it can't be... There is a creator that's not a body, not a person, the creator that we know of. Avraham Avinu came up with it on his own. He's beyond this realm. He is outside of our universe. And he's the one who has created everything, and he's the one who runs everything. That's the realization Avraham Avinu came up with at age 3. Did he have any proof of it?
Nope.
No. When did he get proof of that?
40.
Age 40. That's when Hashem actually spoke to Abraham at age 40 and said, I am the one you've been looking for. It's me.
Why did God wait?
So basically the Rambam and the Ravad are not in argument here. There's no disagreement here. They're both saying the same thing. The Rambam is saying in actuality when Avraham Avinu knew that he was right was at 40. Right? The Ravad is saying when he first recognized that there has to be a God and he understood without a reasonable doubt that God is our creator was at age 3. So now, what is this telling us? Do you understand what Avraham Avinu? Do you understand what this means? The Kesef Misha clarifies something for us. Avraham Avinu believed in Hashem, fought for Hashem, fought for the Creator for 37 years with no evidence of his own. All alone, being completely threatened. They tried to kill him several times. How many times they checked trying to killing him, threw him in the fire, all of that. But for 37 years, he searched and he waited and he waited. He questioned until finally HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared to him. What do we do? What do we do?
The opposite.
What do we do? Why did that just happen? Why did that happen? That's it. That's it. Why did this have to happen? Or questions like, oh yeah, if God exists, how come? Questions like that start. You know? Why did he? And the question that I always like to ask is, obviously you know everything else. You've figured out everything except this one thing that's been bothering you, right? You know everything. You're like Solomon the wise, but this one thing is bothering you, right? Who are we? How much do we really know? Have we researched enough? Have we really looked for Hashem enough to actually know Him? You have to really work to really know HaKadosh Baruch Hu and be close to Hashem. Without it, you're not going to be there. That's not how it's done. Not even Avraham Avinu did that. 37 years, no proof. He was just looking for Hashem. There's a story of Rav Hagaon Rabbi Ezel Harif. His name was Rav Ezel Harif. He was a brilliant man. Brilliant. A Gadol Ador at the time. He had a daughter, and the daughter, they say the daughter was even more brilliant than the father. She was a tzaddiket, she was righteous, she was smart, she was brilliant. So obviously, he wanted his daughter to marry the best. He wanted his daughter to marry a Talmid Chacham, a well-versed Jew that knows Torah back and forth, that has good midot, that has a good head on his shoulder. He had to have all of it. So he sets out on his travels. He goes to a yeshiva and he tells the Rosh Yeshiva, the head of the yeshiva, that I have this daughter and I'm looking for a chatan. And I want to know if amongst your students in this yeshiva, will there be a chatan that's suitable enough for my daughter? Obviously, they were very happy. The Gadol Ador is coming to their yeshiva and he's going to pick one of the students. Well, we have top students. I'll have the top students of our yeshiva come. He says, don't bother. I have a different way I'm going to do it. He comes. He had a question. He had a question on the Rambam. And I said, whichever one of your students answers this question from your query on the Rambam, he's going to be the eligible bachelor, the little one to marry my daughter. And he cites this question. And all the Talmidim hear this question and they go work on it. The next morning he comes, he sits in a room, and these Talmidim, these students were standing behind the door waiting to come in to discuss this question with the rabbi. One person comes in, two people come in, they keep coming in. And they throw these answers, brilliant answers. But for each one, Rav Eisel had an answer for. Not good enough. For this reason, this has this thing missing, this has that. It's not good enough. How about this? But this Mefarsh says this, but this Chacham says. Each one had its problems. They couldn't come up with an answer. Finally, after 3 days, after all the students, couldn't find the answer. Right? Any answer they would give Rav Eisel, he had a rebuttal for it. So finally he packs up and he says, okay, so obviously it's not meant to be. It's not from this yeshiva. Out to the next yeshiva to find a suitable chatan for my daughter. As he gets into his carriage and they start riding away, the driver looks to the Rav and says, excuse me, Chacham, there is a student running after our carriage. Should I stop? He says, yeah, stop. Let's see what he needs. So he runs, he's out of breath. The Rav invites him into the carriage. He says, sit down, let's relax. So he's out of breath. And he says, yeah, the answer. So he thinks, okay, so the kid's got an answer. He says, okay, catch your breath, and then you give me the answer. All right? So the kid says, goes, no, I don't have an answer. Okay, so we can't marry your daughter. But you can't just leave us like this without knowing the answer. I want to know the answer to the Rambam. So Rav says, you are going to be my chatan. And I'll give you the answer. I don't have the answer either. Says to him, this is a problem on the Rambam that has many issues. And I haven't found an answer myself either. But that's not what I was looking for. I wanted to know who has the love to learn. Who's not going to give up and really want to find an answer? Are you going to be that person that's going to actually break your head to find the answer, the truth? Or are you just going to be trying to be like, okay, I didn't find the answer, whatever. You have to have a cheshek. You have to have a love of Torah. You want to find Hashem in everything? Then you need to look. If you're not looking, you're not going to find Him. The Rambam says, you want to find Hashem? Go out into the wilderness. Look at the plants, look at the trees, look at the animals, analyze them. If you don't find God there, something's missing. Because the world is magnificent. It's full of Hashem. You just have to look for Him. If you're not looking, you're not going to find Him. Sometimes in life, we said this before, we all have questions. Right? And a lot of times in life, we don't find those answers. But most of the time, that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is, because we don't find those answers, we give up. And you have to imagine Hashem is standing up there thinking, just a little more. You gave up just a little too soon. Think about Avraham Avinu. 37 years is a long time to fight the entire world of that time on what we would call a hunch. But he called it a belief. And he was called Avraham Ivri, the other sider. Ivri means the other sider. He was the only one that believed in Hashem. Everybody else was worshipping idols, including his own father. Who are we going to be? Do we want to be the other guys? Or do we want to be the Avraham on one side alone, but knowing that we know the truth? Baruch Adonai Le'olam, amen.